Pop Culture Podcast, Season 2, Episode 3 with our guest Lloyd Kaufman starts right now.
Woo!
Now we are live. Hey, Lloyd, how are you doing?
I just woke up, in the nursing home. I had these twisted dreams. I imagined I was in Milwaukee and at the Avalon Theater, and it was so beautiful. It was in a palace, but it was twisted because inside that theater there were these evil people from Disney, AMC, and Regal Cinema. That was twisted, very twisted.
You may have been having a premonition of what's going to happen next week.
Oh, what's next week, Tom?
Yeah, tell us.
Twisted Dreams Film Festival, October 14th to the 16th at the amazing Palace Avalon Theater. And we're going to have special guest Lloyd Kaufman, Mr. Trauma himself. Woo!
I'm wearing my Lemmy hat. This is a hat Lemmy wore.
I read about that hat that Lemmy Kilmister gave you.
Oh, Lemmy,
Wow.
I miss him. He's a wonderful guy.
Very cool.
At any rate, thanks to Lemmy, among other things, heavy into Maker's Mark. Very nice.
There you go. Lloyd, I got to thank you. A lot of people might not know this, but you're going to be having the Milwaukee premiere of Shakespeare Shitstorm there. And last night, I actually went ahead and I read The Tempest by William Shakespeare. And you know what I found out?
What did
Nobody ever asks you what you're doing when you're reading Shakespeare. And you just want to tell someone.
Get the Cliff's Notes.
Yeah. But no, it was very interesting.
It's a good one, right? It's my favorite Shakespearean play. It's got the sex, it's got romance, it's got violence, it's got monsters. I'm talking about the Shakespeare. We added some trained whales to it. Some very rare Albanian trained whales.
How did you get a hold of an Albanian trained whale?
Just filmed in Albania, nothing much.
Oh, you got a guy?
He's got a guy.
It's only the first American studio to film in Albania. And now, after we broke the hymen, they have all sorts of movies being made there because the mainstream are chicken shit. They're all afraid to lose their shitty little bureaucratic jobs, their shitty little suits, their cars that they don't own, their mansions that they don't own, their hookers they can't even pay for, the drugs are low quality because they're all in debt trying to look like big shots, right? That's not the trauma way. That's not the twisted dream way.
Mm-mm.
That's
You tell him, Lloyd.
way.
Yeah, now, The Tempest was William Shakespeare's swan song, and I read an interview with you and Roger Ebert saying that this could be the last Lloyd Kaufman film.
Well, we, Trauma, Michael Hers and the Trauma team, we are developing, thanks to Mr. Doug Sackman, who's worked with us for over 20 years, we are developing, this might be an exclusive for you, Return of Kabuki Man, which is a reimagining of Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. So that's happening, or at least we're developing a script. And then I've always been a fan of killing old women. So I want to kind of do a version of Crime and Punishment. And a very talented young man who also reads books and has similar taste to mine, although he's more, I think he's more mainstream. Martin Murray, he is writing at this very minute a draft of our version of Crime and Punishment. And I think the overarching theme for that will be the instead of an old woman, it will be a landlord, maybe an old woman landlord. But in any event, instead of Raskolnikov in this one, the theme will be kind of living in living in landlord New York.
You're not going to go the zombie route with Crime and Punishment again, are you?
No, this will be kind of Hitchcocking. I don't know if it'll be as disgusting as my past films. I don't know. I have to see where it goes. There's going to be one very slapsticky murder. I know that. Yeah, and of course, murder's not supposed to be slapsticky. So you can assure, in the same way that hashtag Shakespeare shitstorm doesn't seem to be making any money. This was continue. The Crime and Punishment will continue my unbroken. How do you call it?
Yeah.
I'm the Aaron Judge of movie failures. 62 in a row. Anyway,
well,
maybe.
what was?
Hey, if you guys know of a crazy, wonderful script that is too much for the mainstream or the bougies, that's my turf. I want something that's means something that has a theme to it, something that's entertaining. Any genre.
I wrote a script. I wrote a script.
Yeah, Tom wrote a script just so he could have his girlfriend take her clothes off in the script. That's why.
There you go.
That's the motivation.
That's what you call laser focused.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to share something beautiful with the world. So
yes.
I wrote a zombie movie about.
Oh, is it really? I'd love to see it, Tom.
Oh boy.
Is Chris in the movie? Chris, you in the movie?
Yeah, Chris can be in the movie.
Okay.
Well, I thought you made it already.
Oh no, I didn't see. I didn't make the movie. I wrote the script.
If you can make it really tiny budget, maybe I can scrape a few bucks together. You never know.
Hey, I'll be seeing you next weekend.
Have you heard of Mercedes the Muse? Hot new female director, made a couple of movies on our Troma Now, the hot new streaming service. Mm-hmm. And she's just finished. We're putting it in some theaters. Her new feminist movie, Divide and Conquer. The gynos are coming. Men will be shocked. Women will understand. Mercedes the Muse, Divide and Conquer. Very.
I bet I'm not her target audience, but I want to see it.
Well, you're pretty macho. You guys do a lot of mansplaining, don't you?
Yeah. And that a mansplaining is when a man explains things for a woman.
Well, that's our next film. Mercedes we've just greenlit her next film, which is called Mansplaining.
Oh,
now
awesome.
Let's move on to Brandon Bassam. Brandon Bassam wrote hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm, which Milwaukee and Twisted Dreams was kind enough to premiere on Friday night. And he also has made some movies for us. I produced his most recent movie, which is called Slashing the Final Beginning. Slashing Part 2.
We played that in 2019.
Yes, it came out right before COVID, I think, or during COVID. And then now he's in the middle of shooting a much bigger movie called Bring On the Damned.
Okay. And Brandon might be there. I was talking to him a little bit. I should probably follow up with him, but he might be there at the screening.
Oh, that would be great if he was there. Maybe we can help get him there or something. I don't think he has a lot.
He said he would come, but I haven't talked to him in it's been a couple of months now. I should probably touch base with him.
Oh, definitely.
He said he's available.
Plus,
that would be great to have him.
He's very talented. I think he'll be up there with Trey Parker and James Gunn and Eli Roth and all these people we discovered. I think Mercedes the Muse. I think Heidi, who made Kill Dolly Kill, which is I produced that, which is not yet finished. And I think these folks are the next James Gunns for sure.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, Brandon.
Liam Reagan, the British film director, who made My Bloody Banjo and has worked for us for about 10 years. He has a new movie which I produced called Eating Mrs. Campbell. And it just won, was the favorite film at what's the one in England, the big horror festival. Anyway, whatever, it just happened. Something fest. Anyway, it won a big festival. It won the big British festival. It got the popular vote. It got the public vote for the big British. I can't remember. I'm sorry, but it's the British Horror Festival, genre festival.
Oh, very cool.
So what's your secret to get these directors like James Gunn to almost bypass the regular gatekeepers of Hollywood, without selling their soul and going through Troma? How do you get them to the top in a non-traditional route?
I'm very good at, even though I have, it's questionable whether I have any talent, but I'm good at seeing it. I'm good at seeing it in the person. I just met a young person today named Dick Colligan, comedian, young guy. I imagine he's well under 30, maybe 25 or something. He's great. I have a feeling he's the guy. I think 25 years from now, I'll be getting free lunches by talking about him or something. I want to work with a guy. James Gunn, Eli Roth. I mean, they're smart, nice guys, and they're great people guys. And I mean, again, we also introduced Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Also, they read books, they love musicals, they love Troma, and they're nice guys, lovely guys. Really good guys. James Gunn, after all these years, invited me to his wedding 2 weeks ago, and he had some major stars there.
Sure, yeah.
And they were all Troma fans. They were all, some of them I had worked with because I'm in. I have 2 seconds cameos in James's movies, but how nice is that? And
what type of gift do you get James Gunn for his wedding?
Yeah, how nice was that?
Yeah, but what type of gift do you get him?
Oh, I donated $1,000 to the
Human Fund.
Rainforest. And actually, I got to give him another 500 because he was not him, but the rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
He was very nice to one of my proteges who's on the scale, on the, what do you call it? On the septum? No, what is it called? On the spectrum. Yeah. One of my proteges is a bit on the spectrum, and James was nice enough because we were all told to take no photos, give our cameras in, that kind of thing. And he was nice enough to hold up this kid's T-shirt and let me take a picture of it. And the kid's got things coming out of his nose. He's got issues, but he's a great musician. He's really good. So anyway, that's how nice James Gunn is, among other things. I mean, he's just a good guy. That's
good to hear. I like James Gunn. I've always been a fan of James Gunn since the Troma days.
Absolutely nice guy. Couldn't be nice.
I'm glad to hear that.
I think he even goes to church. I'm not sure of him. I think he's kind of religious. He told me, we wrote a book together, although he did most of the good stuff. And he told me that he was fed up with it. He didn't want to go any further. And then he said God told him to keep going. And it's a great book. Thank you, God.
Yes.
It's one who's kind of not exactly a believer, but he's a good guy. Absolutely good guy.
It's good to hear. Yeah. Sometimes it's
brilliant. No question about it. Brilliant. If you could have been at that wedding, there were speeches that he wrote.
I didn't get the invite.
To describe it, absolutely touching, hilarious, and he had who's the guy from his movie?
Dave Bautista.
Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt. Yes. So he read what was supposed to have been an Irish prayer from James Gunn, and Pratt read it, and it was hilarious. Absolutely, and it's all James Gunn, but Pratt rehearsed it, and hilarious. It was just wonderful, witty, pretty clean, very clean actually, and just marvelous.
Right. That's very cool. Yeah, sometimes you got to be careful meeting your heroes, because I remember I met John Carpenter, and John Carpenter, he's a dick. He's a dick.
Yeah, I had that problem.
Disappointed.
He came to the Troma table at booth at one of the conventions, and he was very unpleasant. I don't know why. The PR people brought him or something.
Yeah,
they thought he wanted to meet us.
Yeah, he's known across the fandom as just being
he's a genius. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Howard Hawks, one of my favorite directors, used to beat the crap out of women. John Ford used to call John Wayne a fag. Picasso used to abuse his women. I mean, art is a weird thing,
It is, yeah. I've had that discussion. Can you separate the art from the artist? Is it okay?
I mean, how do you do that, really?
Is it okay to be a fan of Polanski after what he did? Is it a fan to be a fan of Chaplin after his underage?
He didn't do anything. Chaplin didn't do anything.
David Bowie. Well, if you listen to what the story said, his married teenager
was acquitted twice for, and he was kicked out of the country. And
I remember he was kicked out of
the French guy or whatever he was. He's a bad boy, but you can't take his talent away from it. His movies are terrific, right?
Right.
They're great. But, I have a passion for baby goats. And, luckily nobody knows about it. But I imagine if they found out, I'd probably be canceled. No, Disney maybe would cancel me. I don't know.
Somebody find something. Yeah.
But the point is, no, I disagree with you on that one. But there's so many great artists who have been perverts in every sense of the word, and nasty and salacious and horrible people. But how do you know? How about what's his name in the 16th century, who was a murderer? Begins with C and has a lot of vowels in it. Collagio or Colum. Anyway, very famous Renaissance artist, unbelievably famous. He was a murderer. I think his music. I don't think his photos. I'm sorry. I don't think his masterpieces have been removed from any of the great museums.
No, probably
We're
not.
living in an age where we have freedom of speech as long as we don't say anything. And thanks to the good Lord, we have people who can tell us how to behave. We have universities like Yale University who can dictate to the students what to wear on Halloween. These are kids with 1,600 on their on their college boards. Yale's going to tell them what's appropriate to wear for Halloween. That's how stupid Yale thinks its students are. I'm all fucked.
Coming from a graduate of a Bulldog, correct?
Who?
You aren't you a Yale graduate? Yeah, you're.
I don't think it was like that back then. I don't think it was like that when I was. On the other hand, it was all boys, and it was horrible. I hated it. So I think it's my daughter went there. She loved it because it had girls and boys, and she was a girl and had a good time. So I did not have a good time. But the way it's being run now is just idiotic. I mean, it's fascism, basically, intellectual fascism. It's not. They're not killing people, but they're killing people's minds. That's for sure. If you're slightly differing opinion from the woke crowd, they come and get you. Whether you're a professor, they've driven Nobel Prize-winning professors out of Yale.
Yeah, just now for too hard of a OChem test, correct?
Pardon?
It was too hard of a OChem class they kicked them out for having.
What? I'm sorry, I don't know what that means.
Oh, they just had a professor get kicked out, an award-winning professor, I believe, from Yale for
He was a Nobel Prize winning and a best-selling. And
his class he taught was organic chemistry, so that's what I was saying.
No, that's NYU, the organic chemistry.
That was okay.
I tweeted about it. Yeah, the bougie kids, because this guy who's a genius, and because they're lazy, he gets fired. Right? He didn't fake. He didn't fake advance them. It's the world we live in. I guarantee you, the Russians suck, but the Chinese, I tell you, they're learning every possible thing they can, stealing IP, stealing patents, stealing everything. But those kids over there, they're driven, and we better wake up. We better wake up and get a little physical exercise and wake up.
Yeah,
they're going to be
run around.
All over us.
I believe it. We're going to need the Toxic Avenger.
People are whining online about hangnails. I mean, come on. You got these. What about these pussies upset because a professor failed them? How do you think how's Thanksgiving going to be in if you're a Rohingyan Muslim in Myanmar? How's it going to be in Xi'an in China? How would you like to have Thanksgiving where you're being exterminated by the Chinese because you're Uyghurs, because you're Muslim? It's really interesting because the wonderful Muslim populations, Saudi Arabia doesn't seem to be too interested in helping their fellow Muslims in Myanmar or China, for that matter. So, I'm basically want to blow my brains out. I've never seen a world like this. I'm so sorry.
No, don't be, because you are bringing a lot of joy to the world. And you're going to bring a ton more. All you have to do is show up to Milwaukee.
Chris is waiting for this thing to be over. Chris is saying, "Get this old man out of there, bitter old drunken man." But I think a lot of what I'm saying is true. It took 40 years for the Toxic Avenger to be remade in a $100 million fashion. 40 years. So think about Shakespeare's shitstorm. How long that's going to? I won't be around. Oop.
Maybe.
No, you'll be around in 40
It's up to Twisted Dreams to you guys, Chris and Tom. to keep what's
Stop.
left of my legacy alive, and Shakespeare too. You know,
Yeah, we're not going to stop.
he likes this. He loves Romeo.
So, is there anything you can tell us about where we're at on the big remake of Toxic Avenger? You can tell us. I mean, we won't tell anybody.
Well,
Nobody
don't
watches
tell
us anyway.
anybody,
You can
but
give us all the information.
the film is pretty much finished.
Oh, really?
And, Macon Blair, the director, is the absolute perfect choice. You know, he's only made one movie. He loves Troma. He's courageous. He and his good buddy Elijah Wood, are both wonderful artists, and this is going to be a big step up from them. You know, instead of winning Sundance with a movie that might be forgotten in a year, they are going to be making a movie, or they have made. Kevin Bacon and Peter Dinklage and others, they have made a movie that will be a classic in its time, in the fullness of time. And again, I signed an NDA, which is something I have never heard of, and I worked.
We don't use those.
Saturday Night Live. I worked on Saturday Night Fever. I've been in the business for over 50 years. The first time, well, I had to sign one other, but I guess that's the new Hollywood thing. You know, just don't. You can't even trust people to read the script. Anyway, in this case, I signed an NDA, and they owe us money. So I don't want to do anything to jeopardize.
Don't worry about it. It's going to be awesome.
We had to give up half our fee. What do you call it? Put it off. Defer it, or there'd be no movie. That was the choice. So we kind of had a Sophie's Choice thing there. So we don't want to upset. We don't want to do anything to jeopardize our fee.
So is this going to get as big, like cartoon comic book big, as the first time around?
Oh, I have no idea, but it's going to be great. That's all I can tell you. Their licensing's going crazy. They've got all sorts of new things they're making. Mainstream. Warner Brothers is in on it. I just don't know. Again, I'm ignorant, so I'm a producer only in name. I gave notes, and the legendary people are great. Macon's great. When I went on set, hopefully I can talk about that. The crew loved the film. They loved Troma. And this was in Bulgaria. So, it's all the way over there. The crew was total Troma fans, even though we've never had any distribution there. Thanks to our good cousin bootlegging.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I want people to see our movies,
I'm looking forward to the merchandise. I want to get some older guys who have the old Toxic Avenger stuff talking to the new generation of younger collectors and just bring them together. I want to see that episode of Pawn Stars.
Well, let's make that happen now. Very important. My assistant Garrett is fairly new. So make sure he sends you the merch. Who's he sending it to?
I think Steve's got, or is going to get 2 big boxes of merch. So I think we should be good on that.
Well,
you know what?
We are famous for sending the merch after I arrive.
You know what, Lloyd? Look at Chris's face right now. Look at that face. This is the face of, we never told Tom we were getting merch. Shut up, Lloyd. Because I know nothing about the merch. You just let the cat out of the bag. Hey, where's my merch, man? I need a piece of this.
Well, at any rate, make sure Garrett gets it to you, because Troma is amazing.
Garrett, right now.
We've had 2 tons of merch show up after the convention is over.
Oh, fun.
We've been doing great stuff like that. I would confirm with Garrett that it went out.
Okay. I should do that
tomorrow. It's going to take a week to get.
You could sell our merch. I mean, if anything, right?
We got whatever you want.
Yeah, we sell oranges and stuff.
I don't charge for autographs or pictures.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I hope it's great.
But that can get expensive.
The fans don't have any money, so
no, we don't. We really don't. I want to share something because I just found out about this and I just bought this, but I bought the Troma Project, the PC game. I had no idea this even existed. Do you know anything about this?
The Troma Project. What year is it?
This is a computer game. It came out in 2015, it looks like.
Do you know who made it or anything like that?
Looks like Necrosoft. Like, I don't have a name or anything like that.
No, I don't make the deal, so I'm sure it's legitimate.
It's a crazy game, and I just found out about it when I was kind of researching this, and I didn't know
No.
there's a Troma game on PC. So if you
Wow,
got
can you
Steam,
imagine being so cool you don't remember?
you don't
that
even know
you
there's a video
had
game
about you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, again, my partner is really the boss, Michael Hers, and so he makes the deals, and
Gotcha.
so and it must have been a while back, right?
2015. Yeah. Well, if anybody doesn't know, there's a Troma game.
Great. Well, I know we have Genesis and Nintendo and
Toxic Crusaders. Yeah.
Yep.
and there's all sorts of stuff out. There's a German game that's wonderful where Lemmy's the boss, Lemmy's the hero, and I'm a bartender. Well, that's not a Troma game. And
Was that called Brutal Legend? Were you in Brutal Legend?
no,
That's
I
the
don't-
bartender.
With
it
Jack
wasn't
Black.
Brutal Legend. I might be in it, but I do
Okay.
a lot of favors. I do
Yeah.
a lot of cameos.
Yeah.
But
Looking at
if you can, try to send me the link for that PC.
Oh, I will. Sure.
Yeah, show it to Michael Hers. He'll remember.
All right. Yeah. Very cool.
Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's great.
Yeah. I think it was yesterday. I bought it. And
Thank you.
it was only like 99 cents. It's super cheap. So
That's
it's
probably
very expensive. I figure if it's a piece of shit, I'm only out $1. But it's good.
well, hey, 99 cents.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Well, thank you for buying it.
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
buy one. If there's any more, then maybe I'll buy one.
Yeah, I think they got a few in stock.
I'll bargain with them. I'll
Yeah.
offer 96 cents.
You just tell them I'm Lloyd Kaufman. Damn it.
No, I'll tell them I'm official representative of Twisted Dreams, which
There
is
you go.
going to have the United States premiere of #Shakespeare Shitstorm. That's actually not true, but let's
Yeah.
see it.
No,
Well,
definitely.
it's the Milwaukee premiere, right?
Well, Milwaukee's bigger than the United States, much more important than New York or LA.
Clearly.
It's
And
El-
how grateful we are, very grateful that in fact,
Algonquin for the good land, Milwaukee.
yes, exactly. And how about your music? You got great music in Milwaukee. That
Yeah.
music festival.
Summerfest, the
Yeah,
world's
Summerfest.
largest music
Oh.
festival.
I've been there. It's wonderful. It's great.
Oh, it's a blast. They changed it up a little bit now. I'm not a fan of the new lineup.
Yeah.
They do like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, and that instead of
Yeah.
11 straight days, they just
Yeah. Well, I guess you think it's because they're more viral, they're more digital now, or just economics. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's just crowds are going away, so they want to keep them on days,
Yeah.
Yeah.
instead of weeknights.
Well,
What are you gonna do? Yeah, they always mess up a good thing, Lloyd. Always mess it up.
Well, we started messed up from the beginning, so
Yeah,
you
they
guys,
messed
you
up.
guys are going to bring Troma back. You're going to make Lloyd Kaufman and
Troma.
Michael Hers
Troma never went anywhere. Baby.
appreciated. And thank you.
Troma went off of YouTube for about 2 days. That's the only time it went anywhere.
The fans went crazy too. That's why they
Yeah.
put it back.
Mm-hmm.
They put it back, and then we put everything on Troma Now. Which, if you could, if you wouldn't mind, if you could
Yeah.
mention Troma Now somewhere and how people.
Throw it in the links there.
What's that, Tom?
We're gonna put it up here. We'll put it in the links. You can just click on
Yeah,
that.
any
and
way
go
you can.
straight there
That
from
would be
here.
very helpful. It's
Oh,
really.
We got you back.
It's kind of our cash machine, and it's very little, but it's growing. And all the people who have gone, the subscribers who've gone in for a free month, none of them has left that I know of. And it grows slowly, but it's very good. There's like 1,000 different movies and docs and shorts.
You know what you should do, Lloyd? You should bring a sign that says Troma Now, and when I go outside for a cigarette break during the festival, I'll spin it
Wow.
while I'm smoking. I'll do that for you.
Okay. I'll
And
try.
I'll smoke like 5 packs a day.
Yeah, you look great. You look good. I don't smell any tobacco on your breath.
Yeah. No, we'll do that. Why not?
Careful with
Troma
those-
Now, we'll say.
What's that?
Bring a sign. I'll twist it when I smoke outside there.
I'll try. It's kind of hard. Or we're very incompetent. I'll try. I'll see what's up.
So Lloyd, last time you were on the show, we talked a little bit about Rocky. You had a part to do with Rocky, right?
Yes, I got mentioned on the Oscars by the
Mhm.
director.
Yeah, you had a cameo. You played drunk.
Yes.
You were the drunk kind of stumbling. I had no idea until recently that you reprised that role in Rocky 5.
Yes, I had but it was too controversial. Stallone asked that it be excised from the movie.
Okay, was it? Okay. You're listed as drinker, so you went from drunk in Rocky to drinker in Rocky 5. I'm wondering what your character's journey was.
That was
in
the same
Rocky
character.
and Rocky
That
5. Yeah. How did
was
he
the same
get
character
to
in Rocky
how
5.
did he what kind of 12-step program did that character go through to get to become a drunk to a drinker?
Drinker.
Well, probably the adding a little bit of what do you call it? The
Rocky
micro LSD
inspiration.
and micro LSD touch.
What was so controversial about that part that Stallone wanted it cut?
Well, I was so good
Okay.
that
Fair
it
enough.
kind of
Drew the
outshined
attention.
these guys have huge egos. They don't want to be, everybody to say, "Wow, that Lloyd Kaufman was amazing as the drinker."
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was credited as a drinker.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the original Rocky I even was credited, but I did have I had a big crew credit, but I don't believe I had the actor credit. At any rate, so I'm proud of it all, and I think Stallone.
You probably would have made Rocky 5 worth watching if you were still in it.
Well, I know it didn't do well, but I like it a lot. It's nice and dark, and Burgess dies, and I thought it was a pretty good one. But I understand why the public might have felt a little dark.
No belt was on the line. They had a street fight. It wasn't official. That's it's not in the books.
We have street fights a block away here in New York. You got street fights, don't you, Milwaukee?
Oh yeah.
You want to see
Donniebrooks?
What's that?
Donniebrooks in Milwaukee.
Yeah, there you go. Right, perfect. Listed Donniebrooks.
Yeah, everybody free for all.
Well, I learned a lot on Rocky, and I made a behind the scenes back in 1976 or whenever it was on Philadelphia. And if you get the 4-disc Blu-ray, the Blu-ray with all the Rockies, my behind the scenes footage, which John G. Avildsen, the director, cut down to about 12 minutes. And then he and I wrote a narration script to go with it.
Really?
And we recorded it together. It's very good. It shows you how Rocky, Chris, was made literally like a Troma movie. Pizza for lunch, water, get the neighbors to water the streets at night so it reflects. $10, very little for locations. We went in there with a Troma team from Cry Uncle, and a very low budget movie that John Avildsen directed, and nobody knew anything. We filmed there for about 8 days until the unions found out, and then they all had to go back to LA. And
I'm curious to see that. I'll have to look for that set.
Yeah. Oh, it's all the iconic scenes in Rocky. John Avildsen came to Philadelphia. He and Stallone insisted on. They wrote the movie for real locations, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And it was a low budget movie, studio style, mainstream style, which in 1976 was about $1 million, maybe a little more. And they didn't want to. It would be very expensive for them to bring a Hollywood crew to the Philadelphia location, or to hire IA, the top union, the first class union in Philadelphia. So they had Avildsen and Stallone convinced Chardoff and Winkler, the producers, to hire the Cry Uncle team, the high crew, who were great. In fact, Ralph Bodo, who was the camera guy, went on to do DP on Saturday Night Fever, on which I worked. So they had a great independent crew. We got about 8 days of all those wonderful, iconic shots, including the amazing drunk. And then the Teamsters, the truck drivers, found us, and the production went back to L.A. And I got my legs broken. But other than that, it was worth it.
It's worth it for the art.
The most fun, though, was Michael Hers and his beautiful wife, Maris Hers, got the dailies. We synced up the dailies in the Troma of Rocky, in the Troma editing room. And in those days, Stallone was a nobody. Avildsen had done some low budget movies. I was a drunk. And Michael and who's a serious dude, and his wife were syncing up the dailies, 35 millimeter. You have to sync up the picture and the sound. They're two. You probably know this, but at any rate, it's horrible work. And it's digital so much better. But Michael and they were on earphones listening to the. They had to sync up the sound and the picture, work print, and then send it to Philadelphia, and we'd watch the dailies. And Michael and Maris were like, They were like, what the fuck is this? They didn't get it. But my mother-in-law, the first time she read the script, before I even looked for locations, she said, and there was no NDAs in those days,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
She said it would be the next Marty, that Rocky would be the next Marty. Not only was it the next Marty, it was like the 10 times more successful than Marty. And, Marty was a not underground. No, it was a studio movie, but a modest budget, unknowns. Ernest Borgnine played sort of
Mhm.
a little bit of Alsberger's. But it won all, it was like it came out of nowhere. And, an underdog success like Rocky. And except Rocky was one of the greatest successes of all. It's up there with Gone with the Wind, I think, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Deep Throat and
Absolutely. Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet, all the great movies.
All the great ones. Toxic Avenger.
I
Toxic Avenger came out in-
dedicated hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm to Stan Lee, who died, who was 60 years my
I
mentor.
was going to ask you a question about you wrote something with Stanley that never got made.
Not really, no. I wrote a script that he kind of liked, but nothing happened.
No, nothing happened.
No, unfortunately. But he was a great, wonderful man and good friend, and loved my wife more than me, and that's probably the only reason he kept me on. But we dedicated to him, John G. Avildsen, and my stepmother, Sigrun Kaufman, a wonderful stepmother. So there you have it. And then Lemmy, we dedicated Return to Newcomb High. He died. That was his last Troma movie.
Oh yeah.
Also, I think Stan Lee's last Troma movie, Return, but Stan hadn't died yet.
Yeah.
I'll be dead soon. I hope you guys will make sure
You got
I want a decent obituary in the New York Times.
Well, you're gonna make it to next weekend, right?
at least next week.
You're
You get-
feeling all right. You
Yeah,
good?
I'm feeling all right. Hey, the only problem is vape. What is it? Pot legal where you guys? No, Wisconsin.
No, but if you need some,
well, if you have any vape cartridge,
okay.
I'll pay you.
We
Just,
got.
woo.
You're talking to the right people. You're talking to the right people, Lloyd.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much.
Okay.
It's not
No
for
problem.
me. It's for my wife.
It's for the
Yeah.
glaucoma. Yeah.
She'll kill me. She will kill me. Don't. I didn't say that. Tom said that. Tom put it in my head. He put it. Chris put it in my head. You could put anything you want in this, but my wife will definitely kill me.
What was I going to ask?
Anyway, she's totally straight edge. Well, no, actually, she's got a wooden leg, but she doesn't do any pot or anything. She's clean.
Yeah.
That's good. So if we need piss, we know where to go.
Eat what?
If we need clean piss, you got your POs on your ass.
Really won't get it from me.
Give me
that's
Lloyd, have your wife piss into this. We're good. My old lady's pregnant right now. They'll know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a kid?
Yeah, he just found out. She's like, how far along is she?
Weeks?
She's
or
half
18
done.
weeks? She's half done, and they just found out.
You've just found that's wonderful. How could you tell? What kind of gave it away?
She said, I need to talk.
Well, 6 months, you sort of starts to.
She ended up being 18 weeks, and we thought she was 10.
Oh.
So,
And I'm telling you, you jinxed yourself. All this pressure on me to have another baby with my wife, pressuring me on that. What did you have to do? You have to go and show me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice work, Tom.
I'm giving his wife baby fever bad.
I've been trying to have a baby myself, and you're stressing me. I can't get it up anymore. It's unbelievable. But
I'm with you. I'm with you, Lloyd. No more kids for us. We haven't.
I'll get you one of them cartridges too. I'll hook everything
up.
Yeah,
those would be great if I could have one. The having a child is the greatest joy, Tom and Chris. You know that. Right?
It is. Yeah, I've got 4 of them.
Woohoo! Congratulations. That's good.
Yeah.
I have 3, but they already have 2 of them have kids.
Ooh.
Dr. Destruction says hi, Lloyd.
In fact, 2 of the grandchildren are in hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm.
You got a lot of people in there. we're gonna have some actors and
Yeah, we
actresses
got
from
some
there.
actors that'll be in there. Celeste will be there.
Oh, great.
You know Celeste. She's also one of your Tromettes, along with
Great.
Katie
Terrific.
and,
Give her my love.
Katie's cadre. I told Katie to bring whoever she wants.
Oh,
to,
Katie's the best. Yeah, she's terrific.
So I think she's got a taxi lined up for you, and
Oh, good. Good.
a whole bunch of good people. And Brink Stevens will be there. I don't know if you know if Brink Stevens.
Sure, we were in a movie together. She
Yep.
taught me how to act.
She's
I
an
love that.
awesome person. Awesome
Yeah,
person.
we were in a movie, and she taught me. It was a long time ago, and she kind of told me how to do it.
Great.
Oh, she's terrific. She's lovely. Give her my love.
She is. She's.
Yeah, you
she's
gotta
very-
do me a favor. You gotta keep her away from Chris. She's got the hots for Chris so bad that
Well,
you just gotta. Chris is a married man, and he can't resist all weekend. So we gotta,
Lloyd-
man,
Lloyd
keep,
will be there.
keep her off them.
I'm a little. I've got a little hardness for Chris myself.
Okay.
Be gentle, please, Chris. You know,
Of course, Lloyd.
maybe she and I can, have a cocktail with you.
There's a bar there. There's some private rooms upstairs.
Well, I'm going to
Happens at Twisted Dreams, stays at Twisted Dreams.
That's right, exactly.
Ooh,
And Brink knows that, I'm sure.
Brink knows that, yeah.
knows
She
it
is
now.
very-
For the
very-
record, my wife is watching right now.
Excuse me?
Excellent.
My wife is watching the show.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah, yeah. Luckily, my wife has not come home yet, so guarantee you, the minute she comes home, you will see a different Lloyd Kaufman. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. I'm sorry, the pot roast got burned tonight. I'm so sorry. She actually has a life.
Oh, well, that's good.
Oh, well, Pat, my wife, was the commissioner of
Yeah.
New York State Film for 20 years.
I was gonna.
Created the incentive by which New York has prospered and built about 15 brand new studios all up and down the state. So
Yeah, that's great.
I would like her to come to Milwaukee, but unfortunately, I don't think she's going to come with me.
No.
But
Maybe.
maybe we can get Chomet to substitute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get somebody to.
You'll have plenty of fans there, Lloyd.
I can introduce somebody as my wife, right? And
Absolutely.
here we have the commissioner, 20 years New York State Film Commissioner, and
You can introduce somebody as your wife.
one of the producers. She's Pat Kaufman was one of 3 producers: Justin Martell, John Brennan, who produced Joe Bob Briggs, both of them, and who else? Yeah, Pat was one of the producers on Shakespeare's Shitstorm.
You can tell everybody that my pregnant girlfriend that it's yours. It's from you. You can tell everybody.
That's why you're.
Sorry, present girlfriend. What?
That you're the father. Go ahead.
Oh, well, hey, that's not.
I don't know if that's a rumor we want to start at.
If it looks like Mel Brooks, it's.
Yeah,
It's
I heard you get that a lot.
Oh, I get a lot. I just got it. I just made a little video for somebody trying to raise money where I said I was Mel Brooks.
Like a parlor video or something.
Indiegogo. I've been very busy today. Very, very tough day. That's why I was late. I was at the office till, and I had an hour to get home from Queens, which is normally 20 minutes. And I unfortunately took an Uber so I wouldn't be late. Again, I've never seen the New York traffic. There had to be some kind of horrible thing that went on.
Yeah, well, that says a lot if you've never seen it like that. I hope everything is okay over in New York.
Well, after all that, I was hoping I would see some carnage on the Robert Kennedy Bridge, but everything other than a lot of honking and sirens, a lot of cop cars and pushing through they were going somewhere. They were trying to get us, have us get out of the way and get somewhere. And when we got off the bridge, there were unbelievable amounts of cops. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's just a typical day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Typical day in the neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So earlier you were talking. I noticed you just said something, and like listening to you talk, you don't realize how much you know about movies, and it just drips off you. And you were talking about Rocky, and you said the neighbors like wet the street and everything, and that is just like a cheap, great movie making tip. What are some like real good tips like like that
Well,
that
at
you can
night
tell people that want?
to make things look more beautiful, real movies at night they wet the streets so you get kind of a nice reflection and color, and you can work with it to give you a mood that helps you, whatever mood you're trying to create. And it's very expensive. So we had we were getting the neighbors on wherever South Philly, in their those nice little houses, Kensington. They'd spray they get their hoses and spray the streets, and we had pizza for 3 meals, and um, I think. The big deal with Rocky was it was probably the first or second movie to use the Steadicam, and in my behind the scenes, I actually filmed. I did a little how you use it, because it was brand new. Nobody used it. One movie I think had used it. And Avildsen and Garrett, the guy who invented the Steadicam, Avildsen was very technically oriented, and he and Garrett somehow, what the hell, Garrett, I can't remember his last name. It'll come to me. Who invented Steadicam? Lived on Pine Street in Philadelphia. Anyway, to imagine those wonderful Steadicam shots in Philadelphia. Great. And I got to learn about that. So Rocky was a big deal for me, at any rate. And I drank a lot. So I got to a lot of booze which I charged to Troma to try to get Stanislavski method of
Right. Yeah. Method acting.
What is it? Lee Strasberg. But I would not advise that. I was a much better drunk in other movies. In fact, I was not good drunk. And Avildsen had to come over to me and show me how to be a drunk, and tell me that the secret to playing drunk, this could be useful for you kids.
Okay.
Make your own damn movie. The secret is to play it that you don't know you're drunk, that you think you're perfectly okay. And I've been there so many times, but I've just never put it together. That's it. Avildsen knew. That's why he was an Oscar winner.
Yeah,
That makes so much sense.
I was good at getting drunk, but not good at acting. And Avildsen, right with the crew waiting, he showed me. He actually acted it out. He did it too, which is pretty cool. He didn't drink a lot. Pot. No, he was my pot. I would say he was my pot mentor too. The first kind of vape I had, which was a trapezoidal kind of a thing that was basically a vape, but it was huge. That was the first one. He sent it to me for my birthday, and then when we were editing the behind the scenes of Rocky, he gave me a little wooden thing that you basically it's a vape, but now with the cartridges and all that stuff. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
on a related note, though, did you guys?
Avildsen died, I think, before the vapes really came in.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I just saw today that Biden, he is pardoning minor marijuana convictions.
Biden?
Yeah.
Good.
It's just breaking news. Breaking news today that he's gonna pardon.
Oh boy, they've got people in Alabama, black people who one little joint they're in for 15 years. My daughter Charlotte, who played the mute child in Terra Firma, and she was DP on Return to Nukem High. She has been working on a documentary in Alabama for 5 or 6 years, kind of concerning the outrageous situation there. Oh, horrible! It's not even a state, Alabama. It's a how do you call it? Colonial. It's a colonial. It's a colony, basically, where the small number of rich people are totally fucking the black people. I mean, not even. There's no hint. I mean, it's not even a question. It's absolute colonialism. Same with I don't know about Mississippi, but anyway, enough of that.
Yeah, here's the headline. Biden pardons all federal offenses of simple marijuana possession.
Boy, that ought to get those people out of jail? I hope.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah,
we have it here in New York too, in Rikers Island. We got, I don't think there are too many whites, but there are a lot of people of color who are in there. We did like a joint or mouthing off or peeing in this. There's so many little crimes, like taking a piss in the street. You get the cop brings you to court for that.
Yep.
If you do it in Alabama, they probably cut off. Who knows what they do?
Yeah.
They certainly don't put a banjo on their knee. I'll tell you that.
No.
Nobody's putting any banjos on their knee that I can see, unless they're extremely rich, and there are about 6 of them that are sucking all the money out of Alabama. All the people are basically, it's like a giant plantation penal colony, as far as I can see. Sorry.
Well, our Alabama sister festival, we were going to invite you to next year, but
Well, hey, is this on a plantation? You call it, plantation con. Yes, that's. I've always wanted to go there. We lived those great days. Poll tax, how I love you, mine dear old poll tax. You know Tom Lehrer? You ever hear of him?
I have not.
He was a satirist of the 60s, and he wrote wonderful songs like The Old Dope Peddler, very sentimental about how wonderful he is doing well by doing good. And he has another one about what we were just talking about, which I don't remember. What were we just talking about?
We're talking about Twisted Dreams Film Festival, and check out Trauma Now. Watch Trauma Now at trauma.com is what we were talking about. And we were getting excited about it.
I don't know if Tom Lehrer wrote a song about Trauma Now, but there was something I was going
I
to...
do not phase Lloyd at all.
He did a great... anyway, wonderful song about hunting, which we're using in Curse of the Weird Deer, an anti-hunting movie directed by by Ben Johnson, who is part of our Trauma family in Nashville. I'm producing it. It's very good, very funny, and anti-hunting, and good special effects. And, very serious, like everything.
Yeah.
So, but I love this idea of the plantation. Plantation. Let's see. How would we say it? American Jewish lesbian plantation film festival.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want to go to that festival.
The award we give is a who's the guy, the football player, genius football player in Georgia, who's running for Senate.
Herschel Walker.
Idiot. What's his name again?
Herschel Walker.
Yes, we give a Herschel's. It's the Herschel. We give out the Herschel.
Herschel.
Yeah, that's our lifetime achievement award, the Herschel.
Okay.
It sounds like a Jewish name, actually, Herschel. In fact, some of the great rabbis of all time have been named Herschel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Chris, what's your Mount Rushmore of rabbis?
My Mount Rushmore.
Chris, are you a dirty Jew? No.
Let me Google that.
I don't believe it. You're not Jewish.
I'm not Jewish.
No, come on.
Tom, what's your Mount Rushmore of rabbis?
Let's think. Who do we know? I would say, I don't know. I can't tell. I'm trying to think.
That.
I think Mel Gibson would be up there, wouldn't he? He's a big Jew.
Gosh.
He loves Jews.
Yeah.
He's been very supportive.
Very.
Al Sharpton, he loves the Jews. Jesse Jackson, I think that'd be good. Mount Rushmore.
But we'll do it in a totem pole, so Mel Gibson's on the top.
Yes, exactly. Big nosy.
Yep.
Any rate, enough of that. Let's talk movies. What have you guys seen that you love, Chris and Tom? Anything?
Well, let's see. I just saw. Well, the most recent movie I just saw. Let me think. Was it The Munsters? It probably was The Munsters. The new Munsters.
The Rob Zombie Munsters?
So when that trailer came out, I hated it. I thought, oh, this is just stupid. I just was not all about that. But I saw the movie. I said, you know what? Maybe I'll like the movie. Sometimes it's like that. It's just a bad trailer. I really liked it. I like The Munsters. I like Rob Zombie.
They didn't sell it correctly. They lied.
No.
I agree. The trailer, they tried to cater. They didn't want to take any chances.
No.
Here's Rob Zombie. I mean, he's a real artist. So let's fuck his work up. Let's
misrepresent what.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
it was a shitty trailer, but the
play
movie.
it safe. Yeah, he's an artist. It can't be bad. Can't be bad. In the same way, Brian De Palma's a flop was of a novel, a big novel, but it was very good. He's an artist. It's
Yeah.
his interpretation of the novel. The Munsters by Rob Zombie is not going to be a stupid TV series or that movie that that one they already did. It's going to be Rob Zombie. Come on.
Yeah.
It's his Munsters in the same way that it's Toxic Avenger by Macon Blair. It's his Toxic. It's not mine. It's
Right.
his. And I recognize it. And my guess is I can't predict, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's better than the original Toxic Avenger. I don't know.
That's going to
That's saying a
be.
lot.
What's that?
That's saying a lot. That's a pretty classic movie.
I think, again, I know nothing, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
That's
don't
going to
know.
be debated on a lot of forums, I think.
Well, what it is,
Yeah. House
Yeah.
Blonde, by the way. I have heard a lot of bad stuff about the Rob Zombie thing, but I answered it on Twitter saying, hey, the guy's an artist. It's
Yeah.
his version, his interpretation, his reimagining, right? Everybody talks about, oh, the reimagining. It
it's
was
the
so
film.
good
He's wanted to make this film for 20 years, and he finally got a
yeah,
chance
he's
to make it, so.
give him a break. Come
Yeah.
on. I'm sure it'll do great because it's probably a damn good movie. Anyway, let's talk about movies that aren't damn good.
Blonde. I did see
Hey,
Blonde. You mentioned Blonde. I
Oh,
did.
Blonde, yeah. I thought it was okay. I thought she did a great job.
I liked it. Yeah, you had to have some suspension of disbelief there because her
Yes.
accent wasn't quite there. You know, her American accent wasn't 100%, but she was really good. I thought. Yeah,
And it's also kind of an art film. I think people,
It is.
I saw a lot of complaining on my Twitter feed, but I think again, it's an art, kind of an art film. It's not, anyone, they could have made, a typical Marilyn Monroe, but it's been done 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a good effort.
It was good. Yeah, I thought it was I thought it was an art film too. Definitely, I think people were expecting a documentary kind of
I
biography.
think you're right. I think that's very true, and I think they expected to see the usual.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was pretty good. What about Tokyo? What the fuck? Tokyo Vice. I think it's
Everybody
a
haven't
series
seen that.
based on Michael Mann's movie. You see that?
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I watched the whole season. Then the last 2 episodes made it's bad writing. But Tokyo Vice, I like Michael Mann's movies. I'm not so sure I'm a fan of him because I don't know, he doesn't seem very nice. But he's definitely brilliant. And the nice thing about Tokyo Vice is a series, takes place in Japan. So it's a lot of fun to see the Japanese culture, and it's about the Yakuza, and it's a newspaper, and the star or the central character is a young, attractive American white man, 20s, and he's a good guy. How many times you see a young white boy being a good guy in a movie? And it's in Japan, right?
Oh wow! Yeah.
And he's very good, and the women in it are gorgeous, and it's I think it's pretty good. It's just I don't know what happened if they just phoned it in at the end or.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know where they were going, but there's so many holes in the plot that Stranger Things had that kind of stuff too. Although I loved that. But,
We are premiering. We have the U.S. premiere of a film from a Japanese director. Tom, do you want to go with this one? Do you want to tell Lloyd about this one?
Japanese director Sebastian
Stein.
I keep calling him Sebastian Shaw, but that was a X-Men character.
how do you spell his last name?
Stein.
So he's a German man. He was born in Germany. He's an expat living in Japan,
making movies in Ghana.
I want to make a movie about Chinese kung fu, but set it in Ghana, Africa. And that's what he did.
That's terrific.
Tom, take it away.
Can't wait to see that. That sounds great. And Ghana's doing well now too.
Tom and I are actually somewhat of a celebrity in Ghana.
We can't walk through.
We can't walk the streets in Ghana without being mobbed.
It'd be insane.
Well, I can understand it. Probably mainly the men, I imagine.
Yeah, that's how it is.
It's just
when you're at this level.
I know. It's rough.
No, we featured a lot of Ghana filmmakers on our podcast, and they're a very amazing film community over there.
Oh, at the whole country. I spent a year in the Republic of Chad.
Okay.
So I have to say, and I traveled around a lot of Africa when I was at Yale, and didn't get to. I was mainly in French West Africa and Central Africa.
Hmm.
But in those days, Ghana was owned kind of by Sekou Touré.
Yeah.
No, that was Guinea. Sorry, who owned
Guinea.
Ghana?
Yeah.
Who was the Ghana guy? Anyway, I read his stuff. It was very good, and they're doing all right now. I read whoever the guy at the beginning was with Ghana. I can't remember. Anyway, it was good stuff, and they're doing great. And I tried to buy a Toxic Avenger. Our stuff's bootleg there, and they made a beautiful Toxic Avenger bootleg
Movie poster. Yeah.
on a sack, coffee sack, or some sort of a. That's how they, instead of canvas, they make paintings on that.
Yep.
I tried to buy it here, and it was like $7,500. It's the video box for.
Yeah, that bugs me because I know some of the artists in Ghana. Those come from Ghana, and I know.
Yeah, I would have loved to buy it, but it was like $6,000.
And those artists are like,
here in New York.
The artists are like, yeah, I sold it for $30.
If anybody wants to, anybody there would like to do another one, I'll buy it for whatever you tell me.
I can connect you. I'd be happy to connect you.
Yeah, tell them if they don't charge me too much, I'll definitely buy it. Maybe they could do Shakespeare's Shitstorm or something.
That'd be rad.
Not let them bootleg it. They can in return make it.
Yeah.
Terrific.
That's awesome.
Anyway, I think we've accomplished a lot. This is going very well. I think
so.
I think my reputation is going to be so helped by this interview.
I think
yes,
so.
Yes, very much it was. I hope we set you up with Ghana. That's all you need.
A clip like this.
Oh, when I was Chad, I experienced lots of the first two syllables, but the second two syllables were Ria, and
okay.
It's not what you want to do when you're in the bush of Chad. I had eyeballs on my penis in Chad. I mean, you can imagine the STDs I had. Oh my God! And the doctor only came through once a week. So,
you had to pump the brakes on it.
I had dengue fever. I had palud, but the gonorrhea and all that. Oh my Lord. Oof. Anyway,
I guess it could have been worse, Lloyd. It always could have been worse.
Yeah, hopefully my wife doesn't know, but luckily, it's in the vault with you. You guys.
Just keep those eyes closed, and she won't notice.
This clip from this show is going to make it into Lloyd's Oscar in memoriam section.
Yes.
30 years from now.
What? What to what?
I said that some clips from this are going to make it into your Oscar in memoriam segment.
Well, my father had a pretty damn big obituary and a photo in the New York Times, and that fucking New York Times, I hate them. And I've been really critical because they're so swarmy. They didn't let the Jews in. They didn't understand that the Rohingyas were being, it took them time to, they sort of, put their finger up in the wind and. I don't like that. And plus, they ignore us after 50 years. We're in New York, for fuck's sakes. We've been making movies here. And who else is making movies for 50 years in New York? Instead, they'd rather promote some politically correct person who's got, no followers. I've got lots of mutant followers.
Yeah, you got three.
Yeah.
I'm miserable. Don't worry. Anyway, I'm hoping to get a decent obituary. And if the Times is, if they're really a newspaper, maybe they'll give me a good obituary. I mean, I've had I think I've had more influence on the world than my father did. Although he was a brave man. He was in World War II and started a practice, an independent lawyer practice that basically invented derivative shareholder class actions. And we did a shout out to Section 16B of the Securities, the SEC 1932 rule. We did a shout out to that 16B of the security, whatever it's called, the rule of 1932 in Return to Newcomb High. There you go. You don't see Scorsese giving a call back to Section 16B of the SEC
No, you don't.
32, right?
Yeah.
Come on, Martin. Let's get with
Yeah.
it. Go for it. Have some guts.
Dude. Yeah, the one guy will get it, man. It'll be great.
My father was sort of a lawyer trauma, but at the end of toward the end of about 20 years before he croaked, he started winning. And the judges switched from being elitist to being a little more open-minded, and he ended up okay.
There you go.
And he represented the old folks against Colonial Penn Insurance Company on behalf of the what's the thing we're in, the old, when you turn 50?
ARP.
ARP, that's it. Wow, you guys are very well informed. No joke.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, anyway,
Here in Milwaukee.
ARP, and they got a huge thing change. Got the old people. They were taking advantage of the old people. So he got Colonial Penn to, I think, give a lot of money back. Shareholders, all sorts of stuff.
Tom, I'm officially old enough to join ARP.
No.
I am. I'm
Ooh.
50 in April. I'm officially old enough for ARP. Thanks for reminding me about it. I thought I had some years left.
Well, you don't have to join. What's your birthday?
April
You
9th.
don't have to join. Yeah.
April 9th, 1972.
April 9th.
Oh, I'm 50. And you know what
That's
the,
best
you know what
advice
the
ever.
weird-
Just don't join.
The thing is, though, they give you a card anyway, and you get 50% off at hotels. So
that's no joke.
no, that's
That's a
Now
good
you
deal.
gotta join. They make it
Saying it,
irresistible.
what's that?
They make it irresistible, right? A deal you can't refuse.
I mean, that's just a good deal.
I went into Motel 6 the other night, right? Instead of paying $32, I paid $18 thanks to AARP.
Yeah. That's $18 an hour.
Well, Lloyd, we got you the
I wish.
hotel that we have.
I promise about 3 minutes. All right, go on. Let's
The
get
hotel
serious.
that
Let's
we
get
got,
serious.
Lloyd.
I'm a serious artiste. You guys are
Yes.
all over the place.
Yeah, you're slumming it today.
Chris is going crazy tonight.
The hotel that we have for you in Milwaukee was an old church. It's a converted church, and it's across the street from a strip club. So we thought that's the perfect hotel for Lloyd Kaufman.
Couldn't be better unless it's
You're right near the airport, old church, strip club across the street. You got everything you need. Bunch of restaurants.
Wow, thank you. And the strip club is men, right?
All
Yeah,
you need.
depending on the day.
Garrett was supposed to send you a memo that I was hoping I could get to go to the Manhole Club with you guys. One night.
Well, I do have something that I wanted to ask you. If you wanted to go out to dinner with us the Thursday, the night before the festival, we wanted to take you to Shaker's Cigar Bar, which was one of Jeffrey Dahmer's hangout spots.
Oh,
It is a haunted cigar bar that was owned by Al Capone and was also a brothel.
Yeah, it was a speakeasy owned by Al
sounds
Capone.
like the story of my life. Am I coming in on Thursday?
I think so. Yeah, your plane is going to arrive 2:30 in Milwaukee, I think.
Oh, all right. Okay, just you and Garrett. Make sure he doesn't fuck it up.
Yep. So, and
Well, I don't fuck it up. More likely, I'll screw it up.
we'll pick you
Good.
up.
That's exciting. Thank you. Well, I'm more interested in having dinner with you guys, but not the. I don't know about the strip club.
You don't have to go.
I don't quite get it, because if you can't have if you can't get to the end of it, what?
Yeah.
If some woman dances on you a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm too cheap. Basically, that's the problem. The last time I went to a strip club was with Lemmy. He was obsessed. He didn't drive, so I would drive him. When I was out in LA, we'd get together, and he didn't like me, but he liked the fact that I would drive him to where he wanted to go. And we went to a strip club, Crazy Legs, and he had met a young woman there. He was a gentleman. He was only talking, and he just ran to. When we got there, he ran over to the woman, and before he did that, he got rid of me by giving me paying for a lap dance with a whale, and I mean, really, it was so embarrassing. I was like, "What?" Not a whale, but definitely.
Well, I was going to say that, strip clubs in Milwaukee versus strip clubs in New York, probably not on the same level. I mean, it's Milwaukee.
No,
Yeah.
I bet you Milwaukee's. Hey, the Admiral Theater in Chicago did a whole trauma night. That's a strip house. They do a full nudity, so you can't get any booze there. You can't get any liquor. But they did they did a whole evening of oh no, they showed a movie and then they did a tribute to Class of Nukamai, a burlesque show. Admiral was a beautiful theater too in the old days.
You know that Katie and her group are going to do a burlesque performance.
Yeah, I heard that. That's great.
I guess
Katie Cadaver's terrific. She's funny. She's sweet. She's great.
Yeah, I guess they have it's going to be Trauma. It's going to be a Trauma burlesque show. So
yay, good.
There you go.
Are you guys going to film that?
We're going to film it. Oh yeah, definitely.
Thanks. Good, because I probably won't. I'll probably just bring my phone. So it would be great if you could film it.
Yeah.
Oh, we can have a mobile camera, walk around, a microphone, be like, "Hey,
oh, it'd be great if you can film whatever a little bit of what she's doing to help her, and we'll promote it.
Yeah, I'll definitely. I'll make sure that all gets filmed. Yeah, that's not going to be a problem. We have a professional photographer that's going to be floating around too, so it should be.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you for helping Katie. And anything I can do to rise her up a little bit, help her get up a little, rise a little bit.
Yeah, you've been really good to us. Ever since our first year. This is our 7th year doing it, and we reached out, through mutual friends, and you've been just a big help to us. We got to screen Trauma films, and you said as long as you guys buy the film off our website, you have the right to screen it. You can screen it, and I picked Blood-Sucking Freaks.
I said that.
Whoever we could talk to. I don't know if it was you or your.
What did we charge you? Or it was just we
didn't charge us. We just bought.
Oh, good. So
I bought a DVD. I bought a Blu-ray off of the Trauma Now website.
That's very important.
Yeah. So I picked out Blood-Sucking Freaks because I thought I really like this. And your assistant's like, yeah, Lloyd hates that movie. He doesn't know why you picked it.
Well, I laugh. It's hilarious, but it's in spite of myself. I did an evil film. You have to admit it is. If there's any anti-misogyny anywhere, it should be directed at that very movie. Mm-hmm. But it's hilarious, right? The thing is, Chris, it's shot on 35 millimeter with professional lighting, and it looks good. And we have another movie that I helped them make called Meat for Satan's Locker, filmed in Pittsburgh. And they just shot it on a video camera with the camera sound. So it looked like shit. And it was a good movie, but it looked like crap. And it didn't, it wasn't well lit. And it was, and I did on that DVD for Meat for Satan's Locker. Mm-hmm. I did an introduction, a little make your own damn movie lesson where I showed the public how the Blood-Sucking Freaks, which is horrible, they made it look good, and they used good lighting and camera and 35 millimeter. So you get a how do you call it? A proscenium, what do you call it? I don't know. You get a movie that looks good, so there's a context. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Meat for Satan's Locker, which was a little, kind of like Blood-Sucking Freaks, but it was so grainy and the sound was a lot of that. And of course, I'm in it, so that makes it bad. And but it was interesting. I think I did an interesting lesson for young people. That showing Blood-Sucking Freaks was equally as offensive as Meat for Satan's Locker, or maybe more so. But they shot it so nicely that it's been a huge hit for us, and I don't care for it. I agree. But thanks for playing it.
Yeah, no, it was a shitty little venue. It was our first year, and we played it at midnight. We had a midnight screening of it, and it had a small audience, but it had the audience that appreciated it. So it was a good time. And that actor, the guy that played Sardu, who's Seamus O'Brien, he was murdered, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was murdered, and the dwarf. What's his name? He died. What are you going to do? And Joel Reed died, the director who descended into madness. Mm-hmm. He was very nice 40 years ago, but then he went crazy. I think he got arrested actually for doing something to for squeezing somebody's breasts or something stupid.
Yeah.
At any rate, he went off the deep end at the end. He died of COVID. He's a pioneer, one of the first. And the New York Times gave him a nice little obituary plus a photograph. But what the New York Times did is every Thursday they would give you COVID deaths. They'd say, "Oh, here's A boy, 9 years old, he died of COVID. Johnny, he was in third grade. They give you a little as if they were famous people. And then they did a nurse and a teacher and a rich guy. And, it was like, this is every Thursday. We could read about the COVID death day. Come on. Geez, that's sick. What? Give these people some dignity. You throw them up just so you can sell newspapers? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I know, because the COVID deaths was the first page I turned to in the New York Times. Hey, it's Thursday. Let's go look at who died. Who died of the COVID? Who are the real people? Who died? It's disgusting. Yeah. Anyway, what can you do?
Yeah, you were supposed to come in our 2020 festival. We were originally April 2020.
Yeah, I had I think it was COVID, or I had COVID.
We had to cancel. Yeah, you never canceled. We had to cancel.
Oh, you canceled.
We canceled you. I was going to say Lloyd never canceled because we canceled that.
No, he didn't.
No, we don't cancel.
We canceled it just a few weeks before the festival, and
well, here's the question: did Garrett definitely buy the tickets for you?
He should have. I think so.
Better make sure, because he's new.
And well, I have. Yeah, he did. Yeah, because I have the exact times.
All right. Okay.
Now you have me worried, so I better
make sure he bought them. I mean, seriously, he's only been with us for about a month, and he may think those tickets are still valid or something. So we got to go out and buy them. We can't. They're not going to appear miraculously. So please keep an eye on that. No joke.
Yep. All right, I'll message.
Double check it.
Yeah, just double check that you definitely have Lloyd's. You can even say Lloyd was a bit concerned that we make sure you have the round trip ticket paid for. They bought it. That Troma bought it. That we actually bought it. Rather than talking about it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think. Well, because we bought your ticket. We bought a ticket for you.
Yes.
2020, and
that's right. And we need to buy one so I can get there. I don't know whether
I'll message my guy. My guy will get back with your guy.
There we go.
Please do that. And also, if by any chance the tickets that you bought still exist, maybe we can use them. Maybe there's a way.
Well, that's what I thought we could do.
Yeah. Well, he's pretty green, so it may be, if you can maybe ask him, because maybe
that was
already bought them. Great. But but he ought to check to see that the tickets that you guys bought, they might still be valid. Maybe it's $100 penalty. That's all. Who knows?
Yeah, well, that was part of our thing, is we were going to fly you out and
Yeah, no, I know that.
Hotel
so it's our it's our fault. Right. I mean, I'll make sure I get there. The main thing is make sure that we didn't fuck it up.
We'll get you there.
If anything, I'll drive out to New York. And I'll pick
the merch. Don't let them fuck around and wait. Oh yeah, we're backing up the merch. Oh yeah. And then Monday comes along. Oh yeah, we just down in the basement. We're putting it together. And then suddenly, and then I forget. And then suddenly it arrives 2 days after your festival. So you guys have to, or whoever your booth boys are, ask them to please assume Troma's incompetent and get what you guys need. Make sure.
Definitely. I mean, all right, that's Steve's new title. He's booth boy.
Huh? Booth boy.
We're gonna go. We have there's a third guy that works on the festival with us named Steve, and we're gonna call him booth boy.
Booth boy, I like that.
Well, that's not. Well, in any event, please.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't want to be named Booth Boy, he should have been here doing the show with us. So
I think we got everything covered, but I'll double check.
I'm sure you do, but just in case. And also, if you guys could search for that first ticket, and maybe Garrett can then get some partial refund or use it again. I'll come back and we'll go to when we have more time, we'll go to Manhole Club.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll get there.
We don't have the manhole cover anymore. We have the honey hole. Would that be okay?
That sounds a little non-metal, but okay.
Women, what are you gonna do?
It depends. Well, the brown honey's famous. The beer, the brown beers have a little more gusto.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, you guys have put up with an awful lot, and I have to get ready for the Hampton.
Yeah, we're running late anyway.
Thank you very much, Lloyd. Thank you for all you do for everyone in the industry. Hang
out for just 1 minute after we end the broadcast. So we're going to end it now. Join us next week. We'll be back with somebody else. Have a good week.
It won't be as